I welcome all of you for this lesson. Today, my lesson is The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. This short story is one of the prescribed for BA in English degree offered by University of Jawaharlal. It's first year lesson literature one for introduction. Let's discuss the yellow wallpaper. Actually, the narrator of this story is a female, and also she is the protagonist. She's a patient. We come to know that she is a patient, means psychiatric patient. Her condition is postpartum psychosis, which is caused by child delivery. This is a 20th century story. We come to know that her husband is John, a doctor. He's a Western medical officer. He has selected a house, a very old castle, to retain his wife for a period of 3 months till she recovers. And then she has no one, she's isolated. That old castle is a ghostly place according to the protagonist, right? The narrator says that she doesn't like that place. Her husband has selected that place in his own consent without consulting his wife. So we understand that John, this doctor, is a bigot. He's a male chauvinistic husband. He doesn't want to think about wife's opinions. He never asks about that, and he selects that house. And for a period of 3 months, he is kept there. There is no any companionship for her. She is isolated. Also, she is living in one room of which windows are blocked. She gives a name nursery for that because she thinks that the designs on wallpaper, walls and other places suggest that it had been a boys' school one time. Anyway, her story is this. We know that she writes this story secretly to her husband because husband doesn't like her to write. There we can understand who is wrong. Actually, in her condition, husband is wrong because he is too much male chauvinistic. He's in his professional pride. Not only himself, the lady says that her brother also a doctor, physician, and he's also the same. So here, doctor's idea is not correct as we understand because finally, lady's condition aggravates. Uh, John thinks that when she lives in this house for a period of 3 months, she will be all right. He gives all medicine, instructions, prescriptions, day to day, dining routine, everything arrangement. He pays attention to that. We can't say that he doesn't love. But what is the matter here is that he is not a husband to her. She complains that my husband is not a husband to me. Right? She has a child. Child is looked after by Mary and Jane, Jenny, her sister-in-law. She looks after everything about the house. So she has no any freedom. The garden is a very beautiful one. She sees the garden through the window, but she's not allowed to walk there. Right? Her life is limited to this nursery, small room, upstairs building. So she's confined there. Only friendship she has is chair. She says, my chair is the strongest friend that I have. Whenever I feel a terror, I hopped into it and then my fear is gone. The yellow wallpaper. What she sees all day is the yellow wallpaper fixed to the wall. She lives with that. We find the imagining design from that she has to do nothing. She is full time a prisoner. She is like a prisoner awaiting for the freedom, looking through the iron bars. We feel sad of herself because husband is gone. We have to think why John selected a house in rural area away from town to keep the wife. It was one way of giving treatment to psychiatric patients in 20th century, as we come to know from the historical analysis resources. But anyway, her husband is gone. She likes her husband to live in the same room on the same bed, but husband also keeps two beds there. She says that the reason for John to select this room is that he can keep two beds here because other rooms are not spacious enough for that. So, being a husband, he lives in another bed, right? That is also one, yes, reason for her unsatisfaction. Yes, she always says that husband is not in love with me. She complains that John is away all the time with his patients, and when his cases are serious, even at night, he's in hospital. But my case is not serious to him. Here the matter that we understand is that yes, husband-wife connection. There is less, yes, mutual friendship, and all her things are looked after by sister-in-law. She has no freedom at all. She's not allowed to see her child because we can't lay blames on John for his decision because the patient who is suffering from this condition, right, tries to damage or harm child and husband. That's a normal thing. That's a symptom of that psychiatric condition. That's maybe why John decided to keep herself isolated from society. But she thinks that she tells that I know that my condition, so I will be yes fine soon if I deal with the society. She's not given society's stimulus. She's not allowed to live with others. We also simply understand that John's decision is wrong because she's not allowed to keep in touch with anyone. Even for writing, she's not allowed. We are told that she has to write secretly to husband. Husband doesn't know that she is writing. For a period of 3 months, she is writing. We have this as a short story, what she writes throughout this period, 3 months. The short story is relatively long, but the idea that gives is about female emancipation in male chauvinistic world. We come to know that she is not the only victim of this condition. There have been so many women, as we come to know, is from the story. Story is long, therefore, in a short video, it's not possible to analyze all the facts and points from the beginning. Just give rough analysis for you understanding. For better understanding, you have to read the story from the beginning. Now, anyway, the theme of this story is that male chauvinism, women, women's emancipation in that male chauvinistic world. She is unemployed. The narrator is unemployed. She has no place in the society. She has no anyone to communicate. Then we should also think that is it reasonable to isolate a psychiatric patient like this, especially female? Females are too much sensitive. So they should have someone to communicate. Otherwise, they can't keep their thought and impressions stricken in mind all the time. But she has no one. At least husband doesn't listen to her. Whenever he comes, yes, home, she tries to tell. One time she tells John, yes, my desires are rising when you are here, but he doesn't pay attention to it. She always used the term little, my little wife, my little girl, little goose like that. What he wants to say is that wife position in marriage life is inferior. That's why he uses always the word little. He doesn't want to uh, accept wife in equal states with. We can understand that that's one of the traits in that yes 20th century European male world. Yes. Then what is abnormal is the lady seeing that woman. When you read the story, you may understand that this protagonist, the narrator, she visualizes a womanly figure crawling inside the yellow wallpaper. Wallpaper is yellow. What you have to understand is that yellow is a color of sadness, right? Literature, yellow is a color of sadness because uh, leaves of the trees become yellow when they are about to die. Therefore, in literature, we accept that as color of sadness. So there are symbols for sadness and failure of the story. She wants to be herself. She likes to walk around the garden and experience the splendor of nature, which she is not allowed. One time, when she says to her husband about her desire to walk about the garden, husband rejects that, saying, "You must not let your fancy." John, never wants to believe others. His words are the words. He always says that, "My dear, I'm a physician, I'm a doctor, I know everything." That's where he has made a mistake. Being a doctor, he thinks that he knows everything. We should know that there are so many places that even physicians make mistakes regarding their profession. So he should be sensitive enough to listen to his wife, but he never does that because male pride. Right. Then we find her trying to take that woman out of the wallpaper. We come to know that the woman that she visualizes within the wallpaper is not anyone else but herself. She's also like a woman kept between wallpaper and the wall, being unable to see the light and come out of it. She says that before I leave this house, I will take out myself. One time she tells that to husband also, and husband never cares it. Yes, yes. We come to know that if she is given common human freedom to live with others, deal with the society, read books, and walk in the garden, and to go on a journey, her situation, her condition may have abated, but that doesn't happen. He's a professional, occupied man. He's always in his hospital with his patients, but he never pays attention to his wife. That's the yes, lack of confidence on the side of the husband. Now, there is another girl, Jane. Jane is also same victim of male chauvinism as well as isolation because she's at home doing her things alone. So, this is not the only yes representative for us to understand that male dominance that prevailed in contemporary Europe in 20th century. Yes, then at least relatives are not coming here. Sometimes we can think that he's a doctor. His wife becoming a patient, psychiatric patient, is not good for his dignity, his prestige. So he may have decided to keep wife away from them. That's why he has rented the house, old house in a faraway place. This woman also this thinks that this house is not a suitable place because this has not been rented for a long time. It hasn't been tenanted by anyone. So the husband may have considered about that also, the reason for not renting. Yes. Then she always try to say her, yes, sad life. Finally, we come to know that, yes, she uh, at night, the last day, at the end of the third month, the last night, when they are about to leave, tomorrow, they are to leave this place. She tears off the wallpaper and taking that woman out. Actually, there is no woman, that is imagination. Then she is also creeping around the bedstead, biting bedstead with the nail, also keeping a rope with a noose in her hand to catch the woman if she leaves. When her husband comes, also she sees wife creeping around the room and he faints and collapses on seeing that abnormal behavior. Right? She doesn't stop. This time he said, "John, this time you can't stop me." And also she creeps over his body and also again looks back and sees husband he has fallen. So the theme we have to understand is that is the male chauvinism and female emancipation. It said that Charlotte Perkins Gilman, if not Stevenson, later divorced that oppressive husband and she joined the female association, volunteer organization to help needy women. In this, what we have to understand is that the females are also the members of society. They also need the equal freedom. In marriage, there is a big hand on the husband without trying to oppression women. At that time, women were in England, women uneducated. Sometimes they were unemployed and their place was at home all the time. They had to stay at home Men had to go here and there. They explored the world while women were limited to houses, their roofs and walls. That's why the writer says that females are also humans. They want equal freedom. The short story can be identified as one that suggests to the world that females' emancipation is something needed, and females cannot live within that male chauvinistic world forever. I think that you will read this short story well several times and make your own analysis on it. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.